So there's a few things that need to be in place for your team to really, or your organization, should I say, to really embrace innovation. People have got to have the motivation for what it is that we're trying to do and feedback about how well they're doing. They need the opportunity, which could be resources, systems, support. And finally, they need the capability, which could be skills and talent. But when it comes to the opportunity, we're big believers in creating what we call maps and ladders. And this is the idea that if you're going to ask people to take on complex strategic challenges, you need to lay out the pathway and the process you want people to follow to move from a challenge or an opportunity through to something that's actually investable. And so we worked with an IT Goliath, I'll call them, over in Abu Dhabi, really helping their team embrace some new ways of working around design thinking. And rather than just training them on process, we built out a series of materials and processes that they could use, all the way from how to frame problems. So this idea that there is no right answer to the wrong question. So problem framing, probably one of the most important parts of an innovation process. What do we need to do? Through to creative ideation techniques. So how do we help people start thinking in different ways about different solutions? Through to prototyping. How do we quickly create something that we can use to test with a potential user of a solution to work out what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change? And then finally, what are those investment pathways? So what are those key stage gates in the process that you're going to expect people to be able to move through? And by laying out these maps and ladders for the team in Abu Dhabi, we were able to take them over a period of 5 weeks from some core strategic challenges, working 10 teams through to a point where they were pitching to a dragon's den of their board, and 80% of those teams received funding and support to move their ideas through to the next stage. And the reason behind that is we were able to craft these maps and ladders so that teams weren't trying to work out what process they should follow. We gave them that structure so that they could really focus on what problems they needed to solve and how they needed to solve it. It became much more about using the tools than worrying about which tools to use. So I would encourage you, if you're thinking about really trying to drive innovation in your team, get explicit about the process that you want them to follow, what stage gates they need to move through, and make those resources available and usable to them so that they're not worrying about the how, they're worrying about the why and the what.